is the types of organic compounds or the types of the hydrocarbons. Basically, we have two types of organic compounds. So, in introduction, we have the organic compounds have been classified into two forms. They have two types. The first one type for the organic compounds we have saturated organic compounds, and the second type is we have unsaturated organic compounds. So let's have a look at what does mean by this saturated and this unsaturated organic compounds. So first class we have saturated organic compounds. Saturated organic compounds by definition, these are the organic compounds in which carbon atoms in a molecule carbon atoms in a molecule in a molecule they have or forms four single bonds for single covalent bonds with other atoms. These are known as saturated hydrocarbons. So simple saturated hydrocarbons in which all the carbon atoms they will form the four single covalent bonds with the other carbon atoms. So this is known as saturated hydrocarbons. All the carbon atoms forming a single bond. So you must remember this term, the single bond between the other atoms. This is known as saturated organic compounds, or we can say that saturated hydrocarbons. So the example for the saturated hydrocarbons we have mainly alkanes. Alkanes, all the alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons as all the alkanes have single bond of carbon atoms or one carbon atom with the other atoms. So all the hydrocarbons having single bonds, these are known as alkanes. For example, we have for the saturated hydrocarbon is methane. Its formula is CH4. If I'm going to draw its structure formula, then in the center we have carbon and it is having all the four single bonds with the other hydrogen atoms. And if we have the second formula for methane and ethane, its formula is C2H6. Structure formula we have the carbon atoms and two carbon atoms having all the single bonds with the other hydrogen atoms. So all the hydrocarbons having single bonds of carbon atoms with the other atom, then they are known as saturated hydrocarbons. And the example of saturated hydrocarbons is alkane. So methane and ethane. The word ane at the last is showing that they are saturated hydrocarbons and they are having only a single bond between the carbon atoms. Next we have the second type, that is unsaturated hydrocarbons. So what does mean by unsaturated hydrocarbons? Basically all the organic compounds in which at least one double or triple covalent bond is present, and that double and triple bond must be present between the carbon atoms or maybe with the other carbon atoms. Like if we have two carbon atoms and they are having double bond and they are having the triple bond between them, then they are known as unsaturated hydrocarbon. So we will show the double bond with the two lines and we will show the triple bond with the three lines between the carbon atoms. So all the hydrocarbons having double or triple bond between the two carbon atoms, then they are known as unsaturated hydrocarbons, and it is further divided into two classes. So mainly for unsaturated we have two classes. The first one we have alkenes, and the third one we have alkynes. In alkenes, the bond between two carbon atoms is like double bond, and in alkynes we have triple bond between two carbon atoms. So, hydrocarbons containing at least one double bond between them are known as alkenes, and the hydrocarbons having at least one triple bond between the carbon atom is known as alkynes. So, let's have an example for the alkenes and alkynes. The first one example for alkene we have ethene. The word "ene" is showing that it is an alkene and having double bond. So we have the formula two carbon atoms having double bond, and next they have two hydrogens, CH2 double bond CH2. So this is the formula for ethene. Next we have for the alkynes. Alkynes. So the first alkyne we have, it is ethyne, and we have triple bond between two carbon atoms. Next, the hydrogen. So this is the simple alkyne formula having triple bond between two carbon atoms. So unsaturated hydrocarbons may have double as well as the triple bond, and they have been further divided into two classes, alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes mean we have the double bond, and the alkynes mean we have the triple bond between two carbon atoms. And we have discussed the one example from the alkene, that is ethene. The word ene is showing that it is having double bond, and in ethine the word yne at the end is showing that it is an alkyne and having the triple bond between two carbon atoms. So this is all about our today's lecture. I hope you guys understand about the unsaturated and saturated hydrocarbons, that what type of bonds are going to be exist between the two carbon atoms in alkenes and alkynes, and in alkanes. So if you have next on any queries about this lecture, you can ask me about that in the comment section. For that time, have a good day and Allah Hafiz.